For over 5 decades, Bill Gaither and his wife, Gloria, were considered one of the most respected and admired couples in gospel music. Their marriage was often seen as a living testimony of love, faith, and commitment. Together, they wrote powerful songs such as Because He Lives and He Touched Me, which became anthems of hope and comfort for millions of believers around the world. To fans, their relationship was more than a personal love story. It was a symbol of Christian strength and a shining example of how faith could keep two people united through every season of life. But that image was shaken to its core when shocking news broke that, at the age of 83, Bill Gaither's wife, Gloria, had filed for divorce. The announcement stunned the gospel community and left longtime fans speechless. What was even more surprising was not just the decision to separate after more than 50 years together, but also the revelations Gloria shared about the struggles behind the scenes. To the outside world, their marriage seemed unbreakable, but Gloria's words painted a very different picture, one of emotional distance, silence, and the pain of living in the shadow of fame. Her decision to speak out marked a turning point that would forever change how people saw one of gospel music's most legendary partnerships. When Gloria Gaither spoke publicly about her decision, it wasn't in anger or bitterness. She didn't attack Bill or seek to destroy his reputation. Instead, her tone was calm, steady, and heartbreaking. In a soft but powerful video message shared with friends and fans, she said, "Sometimes silence isn't strength, it's fear. And I can't live in fear anymore." These words carried a deep weight, suggesting that she had held back her feelings for many years in order to maintain the perfect image of their marriage. Gloria explained that behind the photos, the awards, and the smiles on stage, she often felt invisible and unheard in her own home. She revealed that while there was no physical betrayal, she endured years of emotional neglect. "You can live in the same house and still feel completely alone," she admitted. For Gloria, fame had slowly changed Bill, and the spotlight had hardened him in ways she never expected. She described how the man who spoke about love and grace to millions often forgot to listen to the one closest to him. These quiet revelations shook the hearts of their followers, who had always believed the Gaithers were the perfect couple. For the first time, fans saw Gloria not just as Bill's partner on stage, but as a woman who had quietly suffered in silence, carrying the weight of an image that didn't reflect her reality. As soon as the news of the divorce spread, social media erupted with reactions. Many fans were in complete disbelief, unable to accept that their beloved gospel couple had come to such a painful crossroads. Some wrote messages like, "This can't be true. They were the perfect couple. How could this happen?" Others expressed sadness and compassion, sending prayers for both Bill and Gloria as they faced such a difficult time. Christian leaders, pastors, and gospel singers also joined the conversation, urging people to show grace rather than judgment. One pastor tweeted, "Even the strongest marriages face struggles. Let's pray for healing, not condemnation." But not everyone responded with sympathy. Some fans felt betrayed, questioning how a man who sang about grace, love, and forgiveness could fail to live those very principles at home. In online forums, some wrote that if Gloria's claims were true, then perhaps Bill had been living a double life all along. Still, many others defended him, reminding everyone that no one is perfect and that even spiritual leaders are human. The sharp divide in public reaction showed just how deeply people cared, not only about the music but about the personal lives of the Gaithers. Their story was no longer just about songs, it had become a mirror of human struggle, vulnerability, and the reality that even those who inspire us the most are not immune to heartbreak. After days of silence, Bill Gaither finally addressed the growing storm. In a brief but emotional message posted on his official social media pages, he acknowledged the pain but chose not to speak negatively about Gloria. He wrote, "This is a heartbreaking time for both of us. Marriage, like life, is full of highs and lows. I have made mistakes, and I accept responsibility for the part one played in our struggles." His statement was short, but it showed humility and honesty. He reminded people of the love and memories he and Gloria had shared over the decades, and he affirmed his ongoing respect for her. "I still love Gloria deeply," he added. "And I pray for healing for both of us." Notably, Bill didn't deny or confirm the deeper claims Gloria had hinted at, such as the emotional neglect or the ways fame had changed him. Instead, his tone suggested regret, sorrow, and a willingness to take responsibility without turning the situation into a public battle. For many fans, his words brought a sense of peace, showing that even in such a painful moment, he chose grace over anger. However, unanswered questions remained, leaving some fans wondering about the full truth. What exactly had happened behind closed doors? Why had Gloria waited so many years to finally speak? And was this the end of their partnership, both in life and in music? It's impossible to talk about Bill and Gloria Gaither without mentioning their music. For decades, their songs have been the soundtrack of faith for millions of Christians. Hymns like Because He Lives have been sung at weddings, funerals, church services, and personal moments of reflection. Their lyrics offered hope in times of despair and faith in times of doubt. But after the announcement of their separation, those same songs began to carry a new and heavier meaning. Some fans admitted they could no longer hear the lyrics the same way. For them, the songs now felt bittersweet, layered with the hidden struggles of the couple who wrote them. Yet for others, the music became even more powerful. One fan wrote, "When someone sings about faith after walking through fire, you hear it differently." Now we know they truly live those songs. In this way, the Gaithers' legacy is evolving. Their music is no longer just about hope and joy, it's also about resilience, truth, and the reality of human weakness. While some listeners felt heartbroken, others felt more connected to the songs than ever before, seeing them as authentic expressions of two people who had lived through both triumph and pain. The announcement of the Gaithers' divorce sent shockwaves through the gospel music industry. Fellow artists, church leaders, and Christian influencers began to weigh in, many of them expressing heartbreak and sympathy. Some gospel singers who had toured with Bill and Gloria spoke openly about the challenges of keeping a marriage strong while constantly being on the road. One singer commented, "This hurts, not because I judge them, but because I know what it takes to stay together under the spotlight. It's harder than most people realize." Others took the opportunity to remind their followers that even spiritual leaders are human, and no one is immune to struggles. YouTube channels, podcasts, and live streams quickly picked up the story, with titles like Faith Through the Storm, What We Can Learn from the Gaithers drawing thousands of viewers. Churches also addressed the news, using it as a teaching moment to speak about forgiveness, transparency, and the dangers of idolizing public figures. Beyond personal reactions, the divorce also raised questions about the future of the Gaither brand, which included concerts, DVDs, cruises, and even a television network. Their brand had always been built on the image of family, unity, and Christian love. Now, some worried that this personal split could damage that reputation. Still, others argued that authenticity and honesty could make the Gaithers even more relatable to fans who are also walking through their own struggles. Now that the news is out, many are left wondering what the future holds for Bill and Gloria. Will they continue performing together? Will Bill release solo projects? Will Gloria write a book about her journey and share her full story? While no one knows the answers for sure, close friends suggest that both are taking time to heal and reflect. Some insiders say Bill may take a break from public life to focus on his family and faith, while others believe he will pour his pain into new music, using it as a source of healing. As for Gloria, those close to her say she is finally reclaiming her voice after years of quiet suffering. For many women, her decision to speak out has already made her a symbol of courage. In Christian communities, where appearances are often prioritized, Gloria's honesty has inspired conversations about the importance of emotional truth in marriages and ministry. Whether together or apart, one thing is certain: the Gaithers will remain influential figures in gospel music. Their songs, their struggles, and their legacy will continue to shape and inspire people for generations. The story of Bill and Gloria Gaither is no longer just about music. It is about the real struggles behind the spotlight, the pain of broken expectations, and the courage it takes to speak the truth after years of silence. For some fans, the news of their separation marks the end of an era, the end of one of gospel's most iconic partnerships. For others, it's simply a new chapter, one that reveals the full humanity behind the legends. Their journey reminds us that no one is above struggle, no matter how strong their faith or how inspiring their songs. But it also shows that honesty, even when painful, can open the door to healing. As Bill and Gloria step into this uncertain chapter, they do so with the prayers and support of millions who have been touched by their music. And in the end, their greatest legacy may not just be the songs they wrote, but the courage they showed in facing the truth, proving once again that even in heartbreak, faith can carry us through. When news of the divorce spread further, it didn't just touch gospel fans in America, it reached people around the world who had grown up with the Gaithers' music. In South America, Africa, and Asia, where their songs had been translated and sung in countless churches, fans expressed their sadness online. Many said they felt as if they had lost a family member, because the Gaithers' music had been with them through weddings, funerals, baptisms, and every major life moment. For decades, their voices carried messages of unity, hope, and grace. Now, those same fans found themselves reflecting on what it meant that the people behind the music were going through such pain. Some said this only made them admire the couple more. They are human, just like us. This makes their music even more real, one fan in Brazil wrote on Facebook. Others admitted they struggled to listen without feeling a heavy sadness. The divide in reactions revealed something important. The Gaithers weren't just singers, they were part of people's spiritual lives. That's why this news carried such weight. It wasn't just about a celebrity couple, it was about a ministry that had touched millions. Beyond the emotional impact, the divorce created practical questions for the future of the Gaither brand. For years, Bill and Gloria worked together not just as performers, but as business partners in Gaither Music Group. Their homecoming concerts, television specials, DVDs, and cruises brought in millions of dollars and created one of the most successful gospel enterprises in history. The brand stood for wholesome Christian entertainment, unity, family, and love. But now, with their marriage ending, some wondered if fans would still see the same values in their brand. Would the audience remain loyal? Would sales decline? Some insiders in the Christian music industry worried that this could lead to a slowdown in projects or partnerships. Yet others saw opportunity. Authenticity sells, one branding consultant explained. When leaders admit they are broken, it makes them more relatable. People might actually connect with the Gaithers even more, because now they see they've lived through struggles like everyone else. For younger generations of gospel fans, this transparency could even strengthen the brand. Instead of seeing only polished perfection, they now saw vulnerability, honesty, and humanity. The future of the Gaither empire may look different, but it is not necessarily doomed. In fact, it might open the door to a new kind of ministry, one that speaks openly about brokenness, forgiveness, and healing. Perhaps the most important part of this story is not just about Bill and Gloria themselves, but what their experience reveals about the wider faith community. For decades, Christian couples in ministry have felt pressure to appear perfect, even when they were struggling behind closed doors. Gloria's decision to speak out has sparked new conversations about authenticity in church leadership and marriage. In many churches, pastors use the Gaithers' story as an example to remind congregations that no one should be placed on a pedestal. Leaders are human. They experience doubts, pain, and failures like anyone else. Some pastors use the news to encourage couples to be more honest with each other, and not to suffer in silence just to maintain appearances. Others emphasized forgiveness, reminding members that even after heartbreak, healing and grace are possible. Women in particular found Gloria's courage inspiring. Many said her words gave them strength to speak up about their own struggles at home. In Christian households where silence and keeping up appearances often outweigh honesty, Gloria's choice to finally tell her truth became a symbol of strength. Her example is now being used in women's Bible study groups and marriage workshops as a lesson in courage and vulnerability. As Bill and Gloria move forward, the road ahead is uncertain, but their influence remains. Bill may decide to keep performing, perhaps channeling his pain into songs that carry new depth and meaning. Fans who have followed his journey for years will listen to those lyrics with fresh ears, knowing they come from a man who has lived through both triumph and heartbreak. Gloria, on the other hand, may continue speaking out and sharing her journey through books, interviews, or ministry work. Her quiet strength has already inspired countless people, especially women who felt silenced in their own lives. What is clear is that, even apart, both Bill and Gloria will continue to shape the gospel world. Their story, while painful, has opened a door for more honest conversations about faith, marriage, and what it truly means to live with grace. And perhaps that is the final legacy of this chapter, showing the world that faith does not remove struggles, but gives us the strength to walk through them. Their songs will still be sung, their influence will still be felt, and their story, now marked by both love and loss, will continue to inspire generations.